If you share your home with a creature, whether it's a dog that never stops, or maybe a cat that just couldn't care less, you've seen it happen.
Oh, yeah.
They're dead asleep, totally still, and then bam, a whisker twitches. Maybe a paw starts going like crazy in the air.
Or that little muffled bark escapes.
Exactly. And that's the moment, isn't it, where every pet owner just stops and thinks, what on earth are they dreaming about right now?
Ray, are they chasing squirrels? Finally cornering that vacuum cleaner? What's the epic saga?
For the longest time, that was really just,
Yeah.
cute little mystery we'd speculate about. But now, thanks to some pretty serious science, some real breakthroughs in neuroscience and animal behavior, well, we can actually say more.
We can move past just watching and wondering. The science is pretty clear now.
Animals absolutely do dream. So our mission today on this deep dive is to really unpack that evidence. What does the science actually tell us? Confirms these inner lives, these subconscious worlds of our pets when they're sleeping. And maybe the biggest question, what are those dreams likely about?
Okay, so if we want to get into animal dreams, we really have to start with the basics. Like, when does this dreaming even happen? Is there a specific part of sleep? And is that the same for all animals?
Good point. Let's dig into that. We know for humans, right, those really vivid dreams, sometimes totally bizarre ones, happen in a very specific sleep stage.
Exactly. That's REM sleep. Stands for rapid eye movement. And it's kind of a paradox, isn't it? Your brain is incredibly active, sometimes just as active as when you're wide awake.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, but at the same time, your body is almost completely paralyzed. Now, this isn't just a human thing. Research shows lots of animals go through this REM stage. Dr. Deirdre Barrett at Harvard actually pointed out that the REM stage, quote, looks very similar across all mammals.
Okay, that similarity is huge. So the brain's off running wild with dream scenarios, but the body has this built-in safety switch. What did you call it? REM.
REM atonia, it's that temporary paralysis, basically stops us or them from, physically leaping out of bed to chase that dream rabbit.
Right. Keeps things from getting chaotic.
Precisely. And actually, studying what happens when that safety switch fails,
Right.
that's what gave us some of the first really solid proof about what dreams involve.
Yeah.
Which takes us back to the 50s and 60s and this French neuroscientist, Michel Jouvet.
Ah, Jouvet's work.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting, yeah. He worked with cats, didn't he?
He did. He focused on this tiny part of the brainstem. It's called the pons. And the pons is basically what flips the switch for that REM atonia, the paralysis.
Okay.
So Jouvet did these experiments where he carefully disabled that paralysis function in the pons of sleeping cats. So they were still fully asleep, still in REM.
But they weren't locked down anymore.
Exactly. And the results were, well, dramatic. The cats, still completely asleep, started moving. They started stalking, pouncing, swatting at things that weren't there, attacking invisible mice right there in the lab.
Wow, so they were literally acting out their dreams.
They were. It was the ultimate proof, really, that sleeping cat wasn't just having random muscle twitches. It was hunting a dream mouse.
That's incredible. And it strongly suggested that, the dream content wasn't just random noise. It was tied to real-life stuff, instincts, memories.
Absolutely. And the evidence just got sharper from there, especially when researchers started looking at memory centers, specifically in rodents.
Okay, that sounds like the MIT study, right? From around 2001, Matthew Wilson's group.
That's the one, a landmark study. So what they did was they trained rats to run a pretty complex maze. And while the rats were awake and learning this maze, the researchers were recording the electrical signals, the firing patterns, in the hippocampus.
Which is the brain's memory hub, basically.
Exactly. So they ended up with this unique data fingerprint, like a map, of the rat's brain activity for every single moment in that maze. Running, stopping, turning.
Got it.
Now, here's the amazing part. Later, when those same rats fell asleep and entered REM sleep, the researchers saw those exact same neural patterns firing again, replaying.
No way. The
Yeah.
exact same patterns.
The correlation was incredibly strong, statistically undeniable. They could actually tell, just by looking at the brain activity of the sleeping rat, where in the maze the rat was dreaming it was, whether it was dreaming of running down a specific path or maybe pausing or standing still.
That's phenomenal. It's like watching their dream on a monitor.
Pretty much. It showed so clearly that dreams aren't just passive. They're active processing. And a huge part of that function seems to be memory consolidation, filing away the important stuff from the day, maybe rehearsing it.
Okay, so that memory function, that must apply to our pets too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always joke my dog's dreaming of barking at the mailman, but What's the real guess for dog dream content?
Well, first off, their sleep cycles vary a bit with size, which is interesting. Smaller dogs, they tend to dream more often, more frequent, maybe shorter dreams.
Mhm.
Whereas your bigger dogs, they tend to have longer dream sequences, but maybe fewer of them per night.
So the little guys get these quick dream bursts, and the big dogs are settling in for the feature film.
Kind of like that, yeah. And what are they dreaming about? Well, Dr. Barrett suggests it's likely tied to what they focus on when they're awake. So, yeah, running, chasing things, finding food.
Hmm.
But also, very importantly, us, their owners.
Really?
Absolutely. We're so central to their world. So they're probably dreaming about interactions with us, your face, your smell, maybe replaying moments where they were trying to please you or perhaps annoy you.
Huh. Okay, that tracks. That's actually a really nice thought that we feature in their dreams. What about cats? They seem to sleep about 90% of the time.
Right. Cats can sleep 12, even up to 18 hours a day sometimes. And when they hit REM, you'll see those classic signs, the eyes darting under the lids, maybe whiskers or paws twitching, sometimes little chirps or soft purrs.
Mm-hmm.
And based on Jouvet's work with the cat pawns, the best guess is their dreams are heavily focused on instinctual stuff. Hunting, exploring their territory, maybe social encounters with other pets or with us.
Okay, so if REM is so similar across mammals, cats, dogs, rats, how far does this go? Does dreaming go beyond mammals?
That's where the science gets even broader and more fascinating. Let's look at birds.
Birds dream.
They absolutely experience REM sleep. And get this, studies on songbirds have shown that they seem to actually practice their complex songs in their dreams. The same neural pathways involved in singing during the day are active during REM sleep.
Wow. So dreaming as skill rehearsal.
Exactly. It reinforces that link between dreaming and learning or consolidating skills. And then you have octopuses.
Octopuses, but they're invertebrates. Totally different branch of life.
Totally different. Yet when they appear to be resting or sleeping, they show signs that look remarkably like REM. They change colors dramatically, their skin flash in different patterns, their tentacles twitch. It's wild to watch.
Yeah, that suggests dreaming, or something very much like it, might be really fundamental.
Yeah.
Much older and more widespread than we thought.
It really does. Which brings up the big why, right? If it's so common, what's the main evolutionary point? We've talked memory replay.
Right, like the rats in the maze.
And skill practice, like the songbirds. But connecting all that back to the animal's whole life experience, we probably need to talk about emotions, emotional regulation.
Ah, okay. So not just processing facts or skills, but feelings too.
That seems to be a key part of it. The idea is that dreams might be necessary for working through stressful events, fears, maybe even positive emotional experiences. There's this theory called the continuity hypothesis.
Continuity, meaning
Meaning dream content isn't random, it's built directly from waking life experiences and concerns. So if that holds true, animals could be using dreams to navigate their internal emotional world.
that makes sense. And wasn't there something in the research about gorillas communicating their dreams?
Yes, that's an incredibly powerful example. Two famous gorillas, Michael and Coco, who learned sign language.
Right, Coco the gorilla.
They were actually able to report on their dreams using sign. Sometimes they described fantastical things, really imaginative scenarios, but, and this is heartbreaking, Michael also reported having nightmares.
Nightmares. About what?
Specifically related to trauma he experienced very early in life. He signed about remembering his mother being killed by poachers.
Oh, wow. That's heavy.
It really is. But it shows something profound, doesn't it? That non-human animals aren't just processing simple instructions or daily routines in their sleep. They seem to be grappling with deep emotional burdens, fears, trauma through their dreams.
That completely reframes things. And it loops back to what Dr. Barrett suggested, right? That positive daytime experiences might lead to more positive dreams.
Exactly. If the continuity hypothesis is right, then the quality of their waking life, the security, the stimulation, the positive interactions directly shapes the landscape of their subconscious processing at night.
So happier days might literally mean happier dreams for our pets.
That seems to be a very reasonable takeaway, yeah. The better their day, maybe the better their night's emotional rehearsal.
That is, well, that's a fantastic piece of motivation for every pet owner listening. Make their day good. But okay, before we wrap up, we absolutely have to touch on something practical. Because when people see that intense twitching or paddling, a lot of folks worry. They think, is my pet dreaming or is this something serious, like a seizure?
That's a really common and understandable fear, and it's crucial people know how to tell the difference because one is normal sleep and the other is a medical issue.
Okay, so let's break it down. Normal dreaming during REM sleep.
Yeah.
What does that typically look like?
Right. So those movements, the twitching paws, the paddling legs, maybe little yips or muffled barks, they're usually pretty brief, less than 30 seconds or so at a time. And they're intermittent. They stop, they start again. The muscles are generally relaxed between twitches.
Okay, brief, intermittent, relaxed muscles.
Hmm.
And the key thing,
The absolute key thing, a dreaming animal can be easily woken up. If you say their name loudly, or clap your hands, or maybe drop something nearby to make a noise, they'll stir. They might seem a bit groggy or confused for a second, but they will react and wake up.
got it. Okay, now contrast that with a seizure. What are the warning signs there?
A seizure often looks very different. Instead of relaxed twitching, the limbs might become very rigid, very stiff. The movement can be much more violent, uncontrolled paddling or jerking. It might involve the whole body.
More intense, more rigid,
That
and the wake-up test.
A seizing animal cannot be easily woken. They are unresponsive to you calling their name or making noise. They're essentially unconscious during the event, even if their eyes are open. The seizure has to run its course.
That's a critical difference.
Yeah.
And after the seizure stops.
Afterwards, you'll often see clear signs. They might be severely disoriented, bumping into things. There could be excessive drooling, heavy panting. Sometimes they might lose control of their bladder or bowels during or right after. And if you see multiple seizure-like events within a 24-hour period, that's called cluster seizures, that requires immediate emergency vet attention.
Okay, so unresponsive during, stiff limbs, and disorientation after are big red flags for seizure.
Definitely. Which leads back to that old saying, let sleeping dogs lie. It's generally good advice. Even if you think it's just a bad dream startling an animal awake suddenly out of deep REM sleep, well, they can react defensively. A bite or scratch isn't because they're mean. It's pure startle reflex.
Right, you don't want that.
Yeah.
So if someone feels they really must intervene, maybe the movements look unusually intense or prolonged, what's the safest way?
But the safest way is to try and wake them gently without touching them. Use your voice first, call their name loudly, or make a sudden loud noise nearby, like clapping or dropping a book. Avoid grabbing or shaking them.
Okay, noise, not touch. Got it. And if someone is still really unsure, dream or seizure?
The single best thing you can do, pull out your smartphone. Videotape the entire event. Get a clear recording of exactly what's happening. Then you can show that video to your veterinarian. That visual evidence is incredibly helpful for them to make an accurate diagnosis.
Excellent practical advice. Use your phone.
Hmm.
Okay, so this whole deep dive, it really gives us this amazing scientific window into those moments we see every night, doesn't it? The little twitches, the sleep running.
It really does. The science is solid now. From Jouvet's cats acting out hunts, to Wilson's rats replaying mazes in their minds, to just the basic fact of REM sleep being so common, it all points to our pets having these rich, complex inner lives even when they're asleep.
It connects us to them on another level, realizing they're processing their world, consolidating their memories, maybe even working through emotions in their dreams, just like we do.
Exactly. Dreaming seems to be one of those fundamental ways animals are actually quite like us.
So think about this the next time you see your dog's legs paddling on the sofa, or your cat's whiskers twitching, knowing that their dream world is likely built from their waking one, and remembering those accounts, like from the gorillas, of processing real emotions, even trauma, in sleep. What does that universality of dreaming really tell us about the hidden emotional lives, the resilience, maybe even the burdens carried inside those nonverbal minds? What complex inner worlds might our companions be navigating right there beside us while they dream? It's something profound to think about.